I've always been a naturally very skinny kid. Like, I've always had a hard time putting on weight or maintaining it.
He went from looking like a skinny M&M to a bodybuilder in 1 year. And you gotta ask yourself, how is this possible? Coach Greg, in today's video, we're going to be going over Matt Rife's transformation and whether or not bro is actually natural. If you go back to his origins, to his starting point, bro had no muscle at all. He was skinny. Essentially, he looked like a rapper by the name of Eminem. Perhaps you've heard of him. For some reason, out of the blue, he went from looking like a skinny Eminem to a bodybuilder in 1 year. He's extremely popular. He's a comedian, perhaps one of the most famous comedians in the world. And on his last post, July 8th, he posted a physique update for all the world to see. As you can see, the clearly defined six-pack, the chest, arms, vascularity, the delts bulging out. You can even see definition in his forearm. This is an amazing physique. The kind of physique that everyone would want to have, that girls would want to be with. As we swipe, we can see other photos. Here he is in the red shorts. He's looking rather thick. For a guy who's very, very lean, smaller framed and so on.
Always had a hard time putting on weight or maintaining it.
How did he get all this thickness, this fullness? And in case you're thinking, well, I have a physique better than that. There's, 1% of you out there who are fans of Coach Greg. You're going to write in the comments section, say, you have more muscle than him, as if you need to brag about what you have. This video isn't about you. It's about Matt Rife. I don't care if you have more muscle than him. And so, just because 1% of the population can get a physique better than that doesn't mean that he did. And with the final swipe, you can see what in the heck has happened to his physique. It looks as if he's put on about 20 pounds of muscle in one singular year. Is his physique so impressive, so big, and so lean that you couldn't possibly do this natural? Of course it's not. If you have elite level genetics or even frankly top tier and you apply yourself for several years, you could definitely build a physique like this or even better. Now, of course, it's possible that he hopped on the Turk Builder Max and that assisted him in putting on more muscle. And he couldn't have been on Ferula Max as it's not available yet, although you can go to the website and ask to be notified as soon as it's available in a matter of weeks from now. But even with these natural supplements, could he have made that transformation? And so I did some digging. What could have motivated him to change all of a sudden? I mean, it's not as if he's 20. Bro is now in his 30s, and suddenly he develops a physique out of nowhere. But why? Now, if you go back just over a year, somewhere around March, he started dating a girl by the name of Mariah Morsian, fitness model. Shredded, amazing physique, sponsored by various supplement companies and so on. Always looking better than last time. I also did some digging and she entered a fitness competition. I do believe the category was bikini. And guess what? Not only did she win her weight class, but she took home the overall. How many overall winners in non-drug tested sporting competitions, namely bikini, figure, physique, I don't care what category, the overall winner in a non-tested event, how many of those are 100% natural? You know, they deliberately chose a competition where they don't drug test and they won against all the other ladies, many of whom are taking performance-enhancing drugs, but they did it while being natural. Almost none. And so when you're an overall bikini winner, or any category for that matter, chances are you're probably not natural. And so if I'm a betting man, of which I'm not anymore, I would bet that she's not natural. That was Matt Rife's girlfriend for almost a year. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not going to go so far as to say that she's stronger than Matt Rife, but maybe, you never know. And he's watching her as she eats her bodybuilding meals, chicken, broccoli, and rice. Who knows? videos. Perhaps he's eating from my cookbook. And he's saying, what are those pills that you're swallowing? What exactly is that? Is it a Turk Builder Max? And she said, no, this is in fact Anavar. It's Osterine. It's SARMs. It's this or it's that. I got some peptides from Algo RX. Doctor-approved things like that. Remember, these are the things that many fitness competitors are taking. If you are in fact a fitness competitor, you might have gone to Algorex, you might have gotten your blood work done, you might have looked for enclomiphene, you might have gone to my website for natural supplements and so on. If Matt Rife is seeing his girl putting on all this muscle, getting shredded, would he not be tempted to say, maybe I should have some of that? Can I have some? Could I get your contacts? Could I order me some enclomiphene, some HRT, some Anavar, perhaps sprinkle that on top? Patty Chappelle writes, bro started eating Matt Rife a little bit. Eating more doesn't put on more muscle while keeping you shredded. If you eat more, we call that a bulk, which we all do not need. And what happens when you bulk? You get fatter. Sure, you might build more muscle as well, but you're also going to get fatter. Does he look fat? Does that look like a guy that just decided to eat a little bit more? His problem wasn't just not eating enough. All the skinny people out there are thinking, that's just why I'm skinny. All I have to do is add in 1,000 extra calories a day, and I'm going to look like Matt Rife. Perhaps I'll look like Hattie. It's all in the diet. Eat more and get jacked. Zacharific. Insane how we look alike. I was thinking he looked more like Eminem, but Zachy has a point. The chiseled jawline, of which many people speculating that Matt Rife has also had work done on his jaw. Perhaps he's had some injections. He's looks maxing harder than last time. Did he in fact have his teeth done? Nose did? I don't know. And so when you care that much about your looks, your face, for example, clavicular, is it not likely that you'll resort to using performance-enhancing drugs? Like, if you're body obsessed, face, body, whatever, don't you think that you would be tempted to take whatever you can take in order to improve your appearance? People who get cosmetic surgeries, fillers, injections, Botox, the list goes on and on. And when you're more concerned with your appearance than an average person, you're more likely to take supplements of all kinds, including performance-enhancing drugs, than almost anyone. And so if you had to bet, based on what I'm saying, not 100% guarantee that he's taking anything, but if you were a gambler and you had to wager, do you not think there's more chance that he's on something that he is not? If you knew that HRT, peptides, and so on could help you to achieve that, what decision would you choose? Would you say, I can't use HRT because my morals are against me? Is Matt Rife being tested at his comedy shows? Is there a polygraph that he must pass? A urinalysis? Blood testing? I don't think so. This is not the Olympics. He's a comedian. And remember, comedians are on the road, traveling, training at gym hotels, going to Diamond Gym, having to eat at various restaurants, room service, you name it. It makes it even more difficult to lock in. But yet, he was able to do that. And to make matters worse, he suffers from a serious sleeping disorder.
I have such bad insomnia. Like, I can't sleep in any bed ever. I've got like a $300 pillow. That shit doesn't work at all.
He explains this himself in a podcast being interviewed, explaining he rarely can sleep over 3 hours a night. That he goes to bed, struggles to sleep, struggles to stay asleep. And I checked on the order list and he did not purchase Delta Sleep. I mean, Matt, you know better. Why are you not using HLT supplements? Click the link, code Greg, for your discount. And so with comments like, good Lord, sweet baby Jesus, such a darling figure, with a bunch of eyeballs and a fire emoji and the biceps. Does that sound like a guy who's natural? That is on the road, training in various hotel gyms, eating at restaurants, room service. He's only sleeping 3 hours a night, but somehow is able to put all of this muscle while being 100% natural. People yelling steroids and gear are crazy. That's 100% a natural look. I love how there's a natural look versus an enhanced look. And so If bro is on 100 milligrams of testosterone prescribed by a doctor a week, you're telling me that that is a specific look. And if he's on no milligrams of testosterone prescribed, that's a different look. That you can tell based on someone's physique whether they're natural or not. That you just can see it, natural versus not. And if so, if you're that good, where's the cutoff? Can you tell at 80 milligrams of test? Is it 100? Is it 200? Or peptides. You can tell whether somebody's taken Ozempic, tirzepatide, or Retta, any of the GLPs. You can tell by looking if they've used even a microdose of a GLP to aid in their fat loss. And so how can you tell? You cannot. Just when we thought he couldn't get finer, he then added steroids. Just when you thought he couldn't look any better, added in some Anavar, SARMs, some little bit of Ostarine. Why can't celebs admit when they are on testosterone? Well, the main reason is because people will judge them. Until a paradigm shift occurs in thinking where enough celebrities come out and it becomes the new norm, people can't admit it. If Matt Rife said, you know what, I use testosterone, that is how I look like this, people say, oh, I knew it. I knew it. It's not that impressive. He's on testosterone. I mean, for a guy on testosterone, I thought he would look twice as good as that. And so people's expectations of people on steroids through the roof. They expect them to look like a professional bodybuilder. And so if he admitted to taking tests, y'all wouldn't be impressed. You'd still think he looks good, but you'd be thinking, no wonder. Yeah, everyone that takes testosterone looks like that. Or you'd have comments like the guy who said, oh, this looks like a natural physique. You say, all that testosterone just to look natural? Why would you do that? Why didn't you just lock in? That is the common thought that people have. They think that if you're on test, you're going to look amazing. That it's going to cure all your problems. The problem is, do you know how many people take testosterone, steroids, and so on, and don't even look average? Probably half. And so just because you're on steroids doesn't mean you're going to have an impressive physique. Who is that? Henry? Superman? When people start comparing you to Henry Cavill or Superman or Thor or any of these superheroes, like, you have to think, why would you think that they're natural? There you have it. My conclusion, Mac Rife on the road. He couldn't have been using my cookbook all the time. Hard to cook recipes while traveling, having to eat at restaurants, ordering in all the time, training at various gyms, unable to sleep effectively, dating a very attractive woman who's lifting weights, competing, winning in bikini overall bodybuilding competitions, that he would look at her and think, well, I can't be smaller than her. I have to be more jacked than this woman. I have to keep up. And so would it not make sense that he would go to a doctor who could prescribe him legal PEDs to help him put on more muscle? Whether it's HRT, namely testosterone, or perhaps enclomiphene to raise his testosterone levels, because as you know, he was not on Ferula Max, which will, in fact, likely double your testosterone levels. And if you don't believe me, remember there is going to be a money-back guarantee. You don't have to worry. Or to use various peptides or GLPs to help reduce his cravings, his appetite. Clearly, whatever he's doing has worked. I do believe it's using performance-enhancing drugs. With the advice and supervision from a doctor, if you'd like to get your blood work from Algo RX, doctors can prescribe you legal medications from compounding pharmacies to help achieve your goals. If you're interested, of course, click the link and use code Greg for your discount. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo for Algo RX as you've seen. Don't forget to watch the two bloops. Watch them both. If you want to be sponsored, ambassador, be coached by myself, my team, or sell these amazing supplements in your stores and or gyms, click the link. That's for that as well. And until next time, I am out.